Sorry?
No, I don't have that.
Okay, I will send you the photo of your contract. You can check the date and time that you were present in the class. It is here. I will send it to you after the class. Anyway, today I'm going to teach you writing. As you remember, we talked about to what extent do you agree, discuss both sides with your opinion, and what is your opinion. Today I want to teach you three formats, and if possible, we can finish IELTS writing. Let me do this like this. Okay. Wow, nice music. Very nice. Okay, I want to talk about advantage and disadvantage. Advantage, disadvantage, these are samples. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Okay. I talk about this, then we will. I will give you some time to think, and we can write with each other if we need. But first, I'm going to talk about new format of your writing, which is what are the advantages and disadvantages. You know that when they give us the question advantages or disadvantages, it means that it is plural. So we need to write all of the advantages. Is it possible? When the question says what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, it means that it is not plural. We don't say what is the advantage and what is it is advantages, disadvantages. Means there is a lot of.
Yeah, if the advantages, we have to have two reasons for that. At least two reasons. If advantage, just advantage, we can write just one advantage.
Yes, they never give you a question what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage. You are not going to experience it. Never ever. So your question format is fixed. Advantages and what are the disadvantages. So we have two strategies ahead. I like one of them. In one of them, you write the main advantage and the main disadvantage of this trend. I don't like it because I believe that we don't answer to the question. They don't say what is the main advantage and main disadvantage of that. But it is a kind of acceptable format. I don't like it. I believe that when we have a question, what are the advantages? Immediately you need to draw a line, vertical and horizontal, and write advantage and write disadvantage. When you write advantages, you need to write at least one advantage, advantage 1, advantage 1, and advantage 2. You need to think about these at first before starting your writing, and then your first disadvantage and your second disadvantage. Here you should think about why you say this, why, or how. You should answer to this one. And oh, Yashar, why did you do it in the class? Forget it.
I don't want to.
No, I just want you to know about your sessions. I don't say give me.
I know that. Maybe I forgot and I don't want to bother someone because of...
No problem. Forget what happens. What advantage, disadvantage is more important than your payment, sir. And then you need to write an example. Anyway, thank you. I received your message. So we need to think of one advantage of, for example, online shopping, online studying. In this case, it is online studying, I think. It is what are the advantage and disadvantage. Online teaching is getting more popular these days. So it is about teaching, online teaching. What is the first advantage? The first advantage is that you are at home. You don't need to, You don't need to go and come back, commute. The second advantage of that is that, like this session, you can record your class, yes? And first, you can keep a record of that for later studies, keep a record. Second is that in case you were absent, or I don't know, you didn't have time to, or you were not focused in the class, not focused, you can watch that part again and learn better. The first disadvantage of this trend is that when there is no movement, in the class, you become lazy, and overweight sometimes. I can't read my handwriting later. Overweight because I write with the mouse. I don't know why I'm lazy to get it. The second disadvantage of online class is that it depends on technology, Depends on technology. When there is no access to internet, or I don't know, you have problem with your PC, I don't know, internet, you miss your class and this sort of. And even you can think of about eye soaring, Eye soaring is the third one. Then you can choose one or two of these, and then you can write about it. Then for each of them, you need to explain what you want, explain, and then you need to give an example for each of them. This is the structure of your writing. So as you see, your introduction will start with a general statement. You need to rewrite the question prompt to say to your audience what they are going to read about, and then you can indirectly mention two advantages and disadvantages, and then this sentence can be kept or removed. Depends on you. This essay will look at main advantages and disadvantages of this trend. I like this sentence because we can't write about the all advantages, We write about the main advantages and main disadvantages. So I have started with a general statement. Nowadays, most of people, due to or because of the COVID-19 issue, prefer to study online and do not attend in normal classes. As a result, traditional ways of teaching are getting less popular. This is E, you can change it to less popular. Instead, distance teaching methods are becoming more fashionable or are getting more common. These changes give birth to some benefits and drawbacks in educational paths. So indirectly, I just write it results in some benefits and drawbacks. This essay will look at the main advantage and disadvantage of this terrain. Now, you need to write first advantage, explain it, give an example. At the second advantage, explain example, and then come to the conclusion. And for the second paragraph, you need to think of first advantage, explain it, give an example, and the second disadvantage, and conclude them. Then in your conclusion, you need to give a general statement, mention the advantage and disadvantage, and this essay discuss the basic advantage and disadvantage of something. So another topic can be study abroad. What are the advantages of studying abroad? Studying has dictation problem. Okay, anyway, this is what I have written as a sample, and this is just to show you the format. I send it to you, and I have some examples, sample writing. We will check with each other. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Okay, I have a sample about what are the advantages. Let me see. I send it to you, you can study yourself. I think I have written this one. No, It is the same. I have one sample about it I wrote by myself. Maybe it is sample. Let me see. Yes. Sample outweigh. Sample advantage, disadvantage. Okay, this is the same issue. Online teaching is getting more popular these days. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Nowadays, due to numerous advances seen in technological developments, educational atmospheres are infected by different aspects of technology, especially with use of computers, with the use of, especially use of computers and internet. The result can be seen in the tendencies people have to get the benefit of online teaching. As it is vivid, every trend will bring some benefits and drawbacks with itself. This essay is determined to have an inside view into these advantages and disadvantages. So I have started with a general statement. Nowadays, due to the numerous advances seen in technological developments, educational atmospheres, I made it a little bit more detailed, are infected by different aspects of technology, especially with the use of computers and the internet. The result, so I am going to talk about online teaching, can be seen in the tendencies people have to get the benefit of online teaching. So online teaching is getting more popular. I have written the question prompt. This is the question prompt. This is the general statement. This is the question prompt. Indirectly mentioned to drawbacks and blah blah blah. As it is vivid, every trend will bring some benefits and drawbacks. And this essay will 4 parts. I have written 4 parts about this trend. Nope, I don't like it. This trend. Together. So 4 parts, 4 sentences. Now, advantages. One of the most prominent issues of online teaching gets bolded in the matter of the amount of time which is saved, both for commuting to and from school or university and for studying. So you see, I have written the first advantage for commuting to and for studying, we can save time. Now I explain what I mean. When learners do not have to spend some time for preparation for school or university, going and coming, which are both time and energy consuming, this means they can potentially save lots of time, which is wasted for no reason as a prerequisite of being in an educational atmosphere. Prerequisite means pishniyaz. For example, when I was a student, so can I use I in examples? Yes. I had to get ready before leaving home, which took for about half an hour. Later, I had to use public transport to go to university, which was both old and slow, and most of the time very crowded. This took another hour to be added to my preparation time. Online methodology of teaching could eliminate this inconvenience of commuting. Another positive side, I'm writing the second advantage of online method is that through this method, the students and teachers can record the educational session, which can be used later by those students who could not get the topic completely or those who were absent for any reasons. This advantage of online class is almost implausible, means impossible, in ordinary face-to-face classes. These reasons are accounted as the main advantages of online classes. On the other hand, you continue this writing. Yes, for next session. Sample. Okay. Another format that we have is do advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Do advantages outweigh the disadvantages. What is your idea about this? Do you think that it is the same?
That is an opinion, I think. That Also, you know, and they want to contrast the two sides to see which one is better. Do you think the advantages have more or not? And in the end, we have to write about our opinion.
Exactly. So here you do the same thing. Rather than writing this essay will blah blah blah, write in my opinion. Because they ask you which one is, whether it is worse or it is not. So, in my opinion, advantages outweigh the disadvantages. And here you have the same issue. I think I have another. Let me share it with you. Do advantages. I have a sample. Advantages, disadvantages. I think here it is. We had the sample of advantages outweigh. Can I ask you to read this part, please?
Do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? Museums are those places which have been founded to increase the potential of conveying cultural, historical, educational, anthropological, and social heritage of former generation to the present and future ones. While some museums devoted a sort of an admission charges for entry, some exempt people in paying such a charge. Having these charges can have some major benefits or disadvantages. In my opinion, the drawbacks of an entrance fee are eclipsed by its benefits, in the sense that the income will be plunged back into operation and development of the museums. Excellent. You have outlined what you are going to talk about and at the same time made your opinion very clear. This is exactly what you need to do. Make it clear to the examiner what you think about the question and also help to follow the rest of your essay.
Exactly. So here we give the comment for this. What we did, I wrote one sentence about the museums. It is my general statement. So what are museums? Museums are those places which have been founded to increase the potential of conveying cultural, historical, educational, anthropological, and social heritages of the former generation to the present and future ones. Now, second sentence is the question prompt. While some museums devoted the sort of an admission charges for entry, some exempt people paying such charges. So having these charges can have some major benefits. I don't like or here. We should write and disadvantages. Now, my opinion, the drawbacks of an entrance fee are eclipsed by its benefits, in the sense that the income will be plowed back into operation and development of the museums. So this is a very nice sentence. So the second advantage, here we write the second is the major disadvantage. The major disadvantage of an admission fee is the possibility of reducing the number of visitors. This is a disadvantage. Museums house exhibitions and artifacts of great educational and historical value. If the chief aim of a museum is to introduce the local community, admission should be free to the public and visitors. Take some folk museums in Hong Kong, which preserves historic relics and display folk customs, for example. Admission to these folk museums, which are often momentous, is free of charge. If they have charged an entrance fee, many might have turned to other activities. So again, it is clear and relevant, main reasons and fully developed idea. It was great to see how you took one central idea and developed it fully. But again, I believe that this is just a major. This is another format that I don't like it very much. Considering the fact that granting an entrance fee might have a negative effect on the admission figures, yet an income is favorable to museums in terms of operation. Museums feature educational exhibitions at times, and this could not have been done without a sum of money expended on hiring professionals and buying equipment. The Hong Kong Space Museum, for instance, has monthly exhibitions on different issues, and professional docents are employed to take visitors and a guided tour around the museum. This example speaks volumes, you see, about how a reasonable admission charge is advantageous to the operation of it. This advantage gives a lot of information, a lot of value to why it is reasonable to get money. As above, I particularly like the way you linked both main ideas in the first sentence. In conclusion, the disadvantages of an admission fee are overshadowed by the benefit occurring from a stable source of income. Therefore, having weighed up the pros and cons, I am convinced that museum should charge an entrance fee for the sake of operation and development. This is band 9. This is 9. So you see everything is designed very well, and you can use these green parts in other writings as well. So I sent this one to you as well. Okay, let me see. Okay. I want you to have these pages. I have it in your book, but I printed. I scanned them so you can have access to them very easily. Okay. This is an opinion writing. So it is a sample. You can print it and read it. Now I'm going to talk about what are the causes and effects. What are the causes and effects, if I can find? Maybe it is cause effect. Cause and effect PDF. Okay. Again, I need to give you a brief introduction about this. When we ask what are the causes and what are the effects, or what are the problems and the solution, you know that they can change their places. It means that the question is what are the causes and what are the solutions? What are the problems and what are the effects of that problem? So what are the causes and effects is one type of writing. What are the causes and solutions is another type of writing. What are the problems and solutions is another. What are the problems and effects? So we can have 4 types of writings here. 4 types. No matter, even it can be what are the advantages and disadvantages, no problem. They are almost the same, no difference. As you remember, when we said what are the advantages and disadvantages, we wrote one paragraph about advantages, one paragraph about disadvantages. Here we write 2 causes, 2 solutions. 2 causes, 2 effects. 2 problems, 2 solutions. 2 problems, 2 effects. It is exactly like advantage, disadvantage. So the question is, young people in the modern world seem to have more power and influence than any previous young generation. Why is this the case? Means what are the causes? What impact does it have on the relationship between old and young people? So we need to be careful about the new information. It is limited to relationship. And what are the effects? So if I want to start my introduction, I need to write a general statement. I need to paraphrase the question prompt. I need to write main causes or main effects, main problems and solutions, advantages and disadvantages. It is exactly the same. In paragraph 1, I write about my first cause, I explain it, I give an example, I write my second cause, explain example, and conclude. If it is problem, I write problem, second problem, conclusion, advantage, first advantage, second advantage, and so on. In paragraph 2, about effect or solution or disadvantage, exactly like this format, and then I come to the conclusion. I think as far as I remember, I have just written an introduction. So nowadays, it seems that youngsters have the control over the variety of affairs more compared to the former generations. In the current modern life, this influence is completely tangible, and young people almost rule the human territory more than any time in the past. On the one hand, advances in technology has created a big gap between the youth and elderly members of each society. And on the other hand, comparing to the past generation, more people are educated these days. So what are the reasons? Why is this the case? First, advance in technology, then education. The most outstanding effect these issues might have on the relationship. Why I have written relationship? Because the question is about the relationship, yes? Between old and young is creating a distance between them, which is not good news for the society from different points of view. So you can write senior generation, javelin, adolescents, young adults. Young people in the modern world seem to have more power and influence. This is the question I have written here because I wanted to type it. So I have written just one effect, two reasons, one effect. Is it possible? Yes. If you like, you can write two effects and then write one paragraph about these advances in education, and the second about the distance which is created between old and young people. You can complete this writing as well. Okay. I think done. So let's see all of them. Advantages and sample, I talked about it. Cause and effect, this is the PowerPoint format. This is the cause and effect. It's different. Discuss both sides and give your opinion. We have talked about them. Do advantages outweigh? Double question. Double question. We haven't studied double question. What is double question? You have a question prompt, and then there are two questions here. So it is not very difficult. Again, you need to start with a general statement, paraphrase this one, and then start your write. Briefly answer to question 1 and briefly answer to question number 2. Here, the format is very easy. The question is, nowadays, the way many people interact with each other has changed because of the technology. In what ways has technology affected the type of relationship people make? Has this become a positive or negative? So I look at my answer. I have written one general statement. These days, one of the controversial issues in progress is technology. It has rooted almost in all aspects of humans' life and made it unescapable for human to live without it. As it is vivid and tangible today, it affected people's interaction in different dimensions. Now, answer to question number one. In what ways technology as a new introduction to people's lives has affected many human life dramatically, especially in the ways it helped people create relationships. Is it positive or negative? Every invention, for sure, has its own positive and negative outcomes. However, sometimes the negative aspects outweigh the positive side as it is seen about this issue, technology, in humans' relationship. The answers to the questions will be scrutinized in detail through explanations and examples in this essay. I have the highlighted not be repeated without any change in our real writing. Our goal here is to show the process. So I write my first answer, I paraphrase my first answer. First answer, technology as a new introduction to people's lives has affected human life dramatically, especially in the ways it helped people create relationship. I repeat it, but you shouldn't repeat it. How? Technology the means of communication vastly, which gave the ability to people to make contacts or even keep their contacts with each other. Some of these advances, which had a profound effect on the matter of relationship among individuals, are the internet and certainly mobile phones. So I am explaining. These two facilities gave people the potential to make telephone calls no matter where they are, which can be both audio or video calls. In the past, it was a burden on the neck when people missed to see each other because they had to pass the distance, even when they were in the same city, since it was not very easy to see each other whenever they desired. It needed time and energy. However, these days, by the help of social networking sites, special applications, and online communicating services, people have enough abilities to see or talk with each other. Furthermore, these gadgets make people capable of seeing some people unfamiliar and study their profile, see their photos, read about their personal tendencies, and if interested, go through some messages for further relations. Thus, technology cannot be ignored as an essential innovation which manipulated the nature of humans' relationships. The second paragraph is positive or negative. So every invention for sure has its own positive and negative outcomes. However, sometimes the negative aspects outweigh the positive side as it is seen about this issue, technology in humans' relations. It is true that it helped people in different dimensions such as medicine, industry, education, etc. Still, its disruptive effect on the relationship of the members of a society is not forgettable, nor is it forgivable. Parents are getting more distant from their children when every member of the family is busy with his or her gadget at home. In parties and reunions, most of the times guests are busy checking their phones, surfing the net, or taking photos, which means being away from each other and feeling lonely in the crowd, resulted in a lot of harmful effects on the psycho of any society. Then considering these issues, it is mostly a negative achievement in people's interaction. I answered that, and you can write about the conclusion. I haven't done it. I am lazy. When I write something for my students, I write just some part of it. Okay. But I want to ask you a question about this double question again. Yasha, I give you 1 minute to think. This is your question. Nowadays, the way many people interact with each other has changed because of the technology. In what ways has technology affected the types of relation people make? To what extent agree or disagree? We don't have this question. Instead, we have this question. To what extent do you agree or disagree? I have two questions. Number one, question number two. I want you to think and answer. خب اینجا کار داریم. Asha, can you?
Yeah. Now technology, these days technology, by growing technology, we have lots of opportunity to find a job easily, and we have lots of advantages in this. However, it's not as rosy as it seems.
My question is that how you can write, what format you need to follow. We have this sentence, and I told you that first you need to write the general statement, then you need to paraphrase this sentence, then you need to give a short answer to this one and short answer to this one. Then in one paragraph write about it, in one paragraph write about it. But here you see there is a question which is a kind of style of writing itself. It has its own format. So what my recommendation is this one. If you have this question, in what ways has technology affected the type of, and to what extent do you agree or disagree? You need to do the introduction, then answer to question. Answer to question number 1 here in first paragraph. And to what extent do you agree or disagree needs 2 paragraphs, side 1, side 2. And then come to the conclusion. So we need to write 5 paragraphs instead of writing just 4 paragraphs. So we need to answer to this one. Imagine that you don't have this. So you can get rid of this question by answering in 1 paragraph. And then write to what extent writing. To what extent writing, and give your opinion, because it is to what extent do you agree or disagree. This is the format.
Question in 2 sides, side 1 and side 2. Introduction talk about the technology, for example. The second one talk about the relationship, and we have a to what extent in 2 sides, and how we can answer the 2 questions simultaneously.
Okay, it's not difficult. You need to give answer to question number 1. Into what extent you should give your idea. It is completely agreed that, or it is completely disagreed that. You need to answer to this question. Nowadays, the way many people interact with each other has changed. It is completely agreed that the way people interact with each other has changed. It is completely disagreed that the way people interact with each other has changed because of technology. So you need to write answer to this one, like my previous writing. In the second one, you need to say it is completely agreed, it is completely disagreed with the question prompt. Then answer to this question here. Right, while some people believe that interaction has changed, other people believe that no, people still need something beyond the technology. It is not the same thing in the second paragraph. And then in conclusion, write this one, write general statement, write this one, answer to this one, and then write in my opinion and give your opinion. Is it clear? We can practice with each other now if you want. Yes?
I have a problem, but okay, I'll write it.
Let's write it. It's not difficult. I am here for these sort of things, sir. So, we have written the introduction. Let's write an introduction. General statement. General statement is nowadays, the emergence of technology has shown its trace in almost all aspects of human beings' life. One domain which is not exempt from the influence of technological advances is related to the nature of interactions people have these days. Technology has changed, has affected technology. Technology has affected. The technology is on, mama. Technology has affected the way people interact. Oh, I wrote this one, the nature of, okay. In what way? In what way the relationships, the interactions between people, the interaction between people has been mostly virtual and abstract. It's been mostly virtual and abstract via some electrical gadgets. Electronical gadgets. While some people believe that it has changed the way communicate with each other. There are some demographics of society who believe that it cannot be called a change in the nature of interaction, but it is only the surface which has changed. It is completely agreed that this change has occurred and what a new generation is faced these days is a new shape and form of interaction people make. So you see, I wrote an introduction. In this introduction, I wrote this sentence, which is my general statement. I make it red. So red is a big shit here. I'm sorry. To change it to yellow, maybe. Yellow, baby. Oh. Nowadays, the emergence of technology, the appearance of technology has shown its trace in almost all aspects of human beings' life. One domain which is not exempt from the influence of technological advances is related to the nature of interaction people have these days. The influence, the interaction between people has been mostly virtual and abstract via some electrical gadgets. How? I answered to that. While some people believe that it has changed, now I am giving to what extent until here. To answer to what extent, let me see there. This color is good. While some people believe that it has changed the way people communicate with each other, there are some demographics of society who believe that it cannot be called a change in the nature of interaction, but it is only the surface which has changed. It is completely agreed. This is my idea. Completely, entirely agreed or disagreed? Agreed. It is completely agreed that this change has occurred, and what new generation is faced these days is a new shape and form of interaction people make. What is coming? File, save as. Double question, double sample. Three paragraphs, save it here. So, Yasha, in one paragraph, you need to answer So this question, virtual and abstract. In second paragraph, look, I answered to question number 1. In what ways technology has changed? It made it mostly virtual and abstract. You see? This is my answer for question number 1. Then, answer to question number 2. Question number 2 is to what extent? Side 1, side 2. Why some people believe that it has changed the way people communicate with each other. This is my first answer. Some demographers believe that it cannot be called a change. Again, this is my second answer to the question. My idea, it is completely agreed. Then I need to write one paragraph to answer to question number 1. Here is the interaction between people has changed to virtual mode. How? When there are cell phones, technology, I don't know, computers and these sort of things that's through which people make communications and blah, blah, blah. In the second paragraph, you should say some people believe that it is a big change, it is a shift from this to that. And then in the third paragraph, you should say, no, some people believe that it is not a change and it is just a, let me say it in Turkish or Persian. Diyor ki, bir sürü افرادın hissi budur ki خب dəyişilir, bir sürü افراد deyirlər ki, yox. Mahiyyəti xod interaction dəyişilməyibdir ki, şəkli zahirisi dəyişilibdir. Bezay bu ki, mən tərəf görəm, danışam, uzaqdan danışam bilərsən, bəs bu həman interactiondir. There's no difference. And in my opinion, I agree that it is a change. من də deyirəm ki, yox, bu bir dənə change'dir. به خاطر bu ki, روش‌های interaction bərrəsi olur. Nə bu ki, mahiyyətində 100% 2 nəfər danışanda bir də interaction vardı bilərəndə. Məli bu rəvişi ki vardı, əlan mən dönəcən o yaşayacaq gəbəyləşəydi ki, lasımızdı. İndi eylər ki, evlərində. Bu bir dənə change-dir. Çə istəyək, çə istəməyək. So that is a change which has occurred. And what new generation is faced with this is a new shape and form of interaction people make. Then, in the last paragraph, your conclusion is exactly like your introduction. Finished. Rather than this, you said, in my opinion. In my opinion, it is a big shift from one method to another method. Bildiriz indi nə cürsüdür? Kamilə?
Kamilə, yes.
Ot deyil. Introduction concept. Biləcə fəqət. Bunu bir yollayayım biləcək ki, bunun üzüyünə. İnşallah. Bəqiyəsini siz yazacaqsan. Yazın bərəsi edir. Xob, bu da ondan. Xob, Yaşarcan, bizim writingimiz təqribən qutuldu.
Embedded biz tozu deyəcəm, bir complex embedded sentenceləri.
Xob, biz writinglərin sampellərinə baxırıq. Məsələn, sampeli 1, 2, 3 səfə filan. Və buradan bir şey lüğətlər ki, biləmizə yaxşıdırlar. Gətib bir dənə fayl cürrəmişik özümüzə. Bunu yollayıram, mən dalasıcan siz idam edin və bu fayllarınıza baxın, writingləriniz qəbirləşsin. Sampellər oxuyun, lüğətdən çıxardın, öyrəşin, gətirin işlərdir. General statement öyrətmişik, general writing. Paragraf istəmirik. Writing, təşkil dostam.
Mən yollamışım.
Necə yollamışsınız? Lazım. Tamam, neyim? sadece şədidin istiqbal eləmişəm də başlayım. PD. Nədir bu? Bunu yollamadım. Səkkiz üzrə dil danışılır bizim evimizdə.
Öyrəşirsiniz siz də, atma.
Valla çətindir. Bilmirəm ki. Bəli, xop, mən Ərbil'dəydim keçən həftə. Təqribən danışırdım belələri ilə. Yəni mətəl qalmadı. Daha önce burada kulağım eşidib daha. Fuzul adamdan, fuzul olsaydım çoxdan da öyrəşmişdim. Qulaq asım cömlə deyil. Xop, Yaşarcan, dən orada kompleks structurelarımız, bu cür deyim biləcək ki, gedək qramerə. Dən Şeyvan zəhvəmiş, dedi Yaşarla danışırdım, sən yadıma düşmüşəm. Qış mı deyəm?
Elə əzgəzə mən dilən nəmə zəhv vurmuşdum. Yəni hava zəhv vurdu biləcə onu dedim.
Evet, sizdən qətilədi mənə zəhv vurdu. Dedi Yaşarla danışırdım, sən yadıma düşdüm. Deyəm, zəhvən bir halı sor. Deyim, sağ ol, valla ki, nə desən. Yaxşı olandı.
Çox yaxşı olan. Dedim, biləsinə pişnahat verdim ki, laqəl termik klasla saxla əldə. Gördüm, əslən termik klasdan saxlamıram. Deyim, laqəl özü biraz oxumursan, qoymursan yerə. Laqəl bir 300-lü termik klas ki, məsələn, hətta əgər düşsən də mühüm olmasın bilə bu oxu. Gördüm, o şoğu yoxdur.
Ya, ruhən dəyicirdi o. Orada nə şu? Açıb da.
Yemişdir, mən xəbərim yoxdur.
Siz
fızıldayarım, soğuşma.
Mənzurum budur ki, mühitdə əşmaq da çoxdur, hədəfi da işləmək biləm ki, işləyir. Bəli, xop, müşkülü budur ki, içərdən özü ilə dodotacaq. Onda da burada mən danışırdım, əslən, getdim, gördüm əslən. Zəhv vurmuşdum, deyildi, ulan, nəzr olub, sən mənə zəhv vurmuşsan. Deyim, o yaxşıdımsan, göylüm istədi da. Getdik, otduq, bir danışdıq, baxam filan. Sərdərqomdur, deyilən, tapmayıbdır o məsiri ki, istəyir düşü içinə. O əziyyət eləyə bilərsən. O sərdərqomdan əgər çıxsa, mənim hissim budur. Məsələn, 10 dana məsir var qabağında. 10 dana məsir biləsin ki, məhdud edibdir. Dərhal ki, eləyə bilər, gətirə bunu eləyə bir dana, 2 dana məsir. Bu biləsinə çox köməklik elər zindicanlığında. Misal deyirəm, biz indi siz writing yazıqsa dedim ki, advantage, disadvantage, minlər advantage və 1000 dana disadvantage deyə bilərik. Hər bir cəmə gətirək o limit eləyək ki, bir paragrafda model daşı. Zindicanlığımız budur. Zindicanlığımız, bizim hər paragrafımız bir dənədə. Yəni gəlir...
Yanlışırdı, deydi, mənim heç vaxt planə biyim yoxdur. Həmişə mən bir dənə planla gedərəm ki, hətta bilsəm ki, deyir ki, onda adam, məsələn, planə biyi olanda ehsas edir ki, əgər düşsən, elə hep fikir odur ki, əgər bunda müvəffəq olmasam, gedərəm o biyisin, əgər bunda. Onda müvəffəq olmur. Mən həmişə özümü bedunu mühafiz qoyarım. Deyib, bir dənə planım var.
Şanaxtım yoxdur, şayət hələ mənim bərdaşdımdır və qələt də 100% ola bilər. Xop, hissim o idi ki, xop, məsir çox qabağında bəsi idi. O vüsət əziyyət edirdi bilərsən. Nəzəm budur, hala bilməm, mən də hətta ki, danışmışam və də hətta bir seri iki seyişiyə çıxmaqdır ki, çox şanaxtım yoxdur. Bəli, xop, məram-ı mərifət fövqülodədir da aslında. Bu cür adam bu camiədə indi çətin tapılar. Çox çətin tapılar.
Biraz şey yaptı. Embedded'i mən nəzir, embedded'i dediniz, tozih edəsiniz.
Verəm. Class. Baxın, class nə mən?
Səs qətovəst olur.
Qoy mən tənzimatını danışım da.
Cürləndi bu.
Danış. Bir də bunun öz mikrofonu. Xop, yaxşı da lan.
Yaxşı, okey.
Baxın, biz embeddedlər, yəni adjective classlarımız. Adjective class. Baxın, cümlə mənədir. Adjective. Bizim bir də adjective classımız olur. Nəsə tapımcı oradan deyim də, bir də type edəsəm çox zaman aparır. Class, deduction class. Konuşum bunu. Aha, özüdür. Baxın. Türkçe deyim, İngilizce deyim.
Türkçe deyilsiz, rahat, rahat.
Vahid hər zaman hurufudur. Huruf bir-birinə qarışır, kəlmə təşkil verir, kəlmələr bir-birinə təşkil phrase verirlər. Hər bir yadınızda olsun ki, qomu belə deyim. Bir kəlmə be tənhayi, yəni bu be tənhayi, elə bir də phrase olsun. Elə bu iki dənə bahəm bir dənə phrase olsunlar. Yəni bizim bir də kələməmizə də phrase deyə bilərik. Məsələn, old bir dənə phrase'dir. An old man tərkibi az neçə dənə hərf kələmədir. Old man buzurgtər all of the students in the class bir dənə phrase'dir. Xop, class da mənədir. Əcə bir dənə kələmə ibarət deyib. Bir dənə ibarət. یک kələməyi, çəkən kələməyi. Bir dənə feillə gəlsə təşkili class verəcəkdir. Məsələn, all of the students in the class həman boş dedik. Are happy. Ediblərinin Ali is happy. Ali cəhəndə phrase'dir bir dənə. Bizim classlarımız ya vabəstədirlər, independent, ya müstəqillikdən independent. Independent olsa, yəni it makes sense, yəni mənası vardı. I went out. Dependent olsa, yəni vabəstədir, yəni mənə it does not make sense by itself. It does not make sense by itself. Özü bir tənhayi mənə verməz. When I went out, vaxtı mən rəfdən birim filan. Dependent classlarımız üçdürədilər. Adjective class, adjective class, noun class. Vaxtı siz adjective class işlədirsiniz, yəni bir də esmizə gəlirsiniz, bir şey tozihat izah. Sən deyirsən, girl, this is good girl. Bu, dərmə girl mahiyyət verir. Ki, hətta phrase olsa, şumarları vardı. Keyfiyyət, əndazəsi, növ etmə, şək, rəng, milliyyət, cinsidir. Mən nəcür hifz eləmişəm, şikari, məcaz. Şey şumarəndədir, filan, behman, to, five, any, some, elatav. Keyfiyyət yəni bizim nəzərimiz. Məsələn, beautiful, heavy, filan, bu keyfiyyətdir. Sonra əlif, əndazədir. Buradan bir dənə parantez açacaq. Senin o xidmət burada yoxdur. Gətirək izafə edək. Rəngidir, milliyyətdir, cinsidir, bir də esmidir, bir də ziyadədir. Ziyadən lazım dəyər izafədir. Qoymuşuq ki, mücaz sürrənsin. Xop. Alan, adjektiv qəbl az esm gələr vaxtı phrase həddindədir. Yəni, necəsinin burada 7 da sifətiniz olsa qəbl az esm gələcək. Vəli əgər gəlsuq, bunu təbdil edəsiq da cümləyə class-ı level-a aparsuq, class bəd az bu esm gələcək. Məsələn, Sarah is a girl. W ki mərbutəsi who is learning English with me these days. Bunu səbdəsə Sarıya dəst vermişəm. Xop. He is a policeman. He was the İçdə cümləmiz var. Cümləyə dovamımız bu həman polislərdir. He. Xop, bu he götürürəm. Çünki faili yenə who qoyuram, yapışdırıram polisməni. Olar He's the policeman who was driving too fast yesterday. خب عجب بود olsa he's the policeman my father was talking to him yesterday. İndi bu him nə mənadır? Tamam. Sillə hum yazaram, aparıram beyni. İşte cümle بعد از policeman. Ola he's the policeman whom my was talking to yesterday. Bu whom niye emi parantezde koymuşuq? Bu xatınca is writing'də whom yazacaqdır, speaking'də who da deyə bilərsiniz. Who da deyə bilərsiniz. Xoş. Tabriz is a place, Tabriz is a city I live in. Tabriz is a city, xoş city which I live in ya in də eləyə biləcəksin which-in qabağına. In which I live. Bu rəsmi tərdir bizədir. Tabriz Tabriz indəcə bu özü gəlsə where I live in cümlədir ki, xoş izafədir sifətdə. Is a beautiful city. Vaqti bunlar izafə tozihdirlər, kama qoyuq bilərsən. Vaqti lazım Tabriz is a beautiful city, I live in Tabriz. Tabriz is a beautiful city, in which I live. Burada elə bilər kama qoyaq lazım. Çünki lazım da hətmən Tabrizin beautifulluğunda bu cümlənin nəxşi yoxdur. Sara is my friend, her mother is a doctor. Deyəm Sara, çünki her mother'dır burada. Her'in yenə whose yazarıq. Whose mother is a doctor is my friend. Bu cümlə kullanıcıda Sara tozifine. Xoş, harda kama qoyaq, harda kama qoymuyor. İçdə təsvir görürsünüz. Bu təsvirdə iki dubla damda babalar. Burada 2 nəfər dubla damda baba burada, əmi də həyətdədir, eşikdədir. İndi biz bu cümlələri növ bəyanında eləyə bilərik görsədək ki, burada bir nəfər var, burada bir nəfərdən çox var. Deyirəm my brother. Demə, bu izində ya, father var.
Biraz diqqətli bəsdir ora ki.
Lazım.
Təscil.
Gətirdim təzəşdən tutun lazım.
Ya usta onunla şey olar, şey müşlü zəftə fikrim orada yerim.
Okay. İndi yaxşıdır səsin.
Hərdən bir elə bir səs yenir, soğutub sonra qalxır. Elə bir ki bir dənə bir saniyə qalır.
Rahatdır da, bir şey deyirsiniz etməm bilərsin.
Mən bir şey deyirəm.
Bir şey deməsiz, onda bəs məndən narahatdır. Xoş, baxın, bizim bir daha təsvirimiz vardı. Alan səsim yaxşıdır. Bir təsvirimiz vardı, burada bir daha kişi vardı, burada 2 daha kişi vardı. Nəzərinizə cümləyi yek ya cümləyi dobuna deyək.
Əvvəlcəsinə aşağı doğru demək olur.
Xoş, mən tozih verim biləcəm. Burada bir daha kişi vardı. Əgər biz deməsək bu kişi həyətdədir, biz təşxis vermək ki, hangi kişi mənim babamdır.
Yek olabilir.
Pəs mən bu cümlə həsb eləməyinə gəl bu məniyə cümləm əvəz olmuyor. Yəni, vaxtı deyirəm, demən is my father. Demən who is in the yard, bu who is in the yard tozih izafədir. Hani burada əgər deməsəm o kişi ki həyətdədir, mənim babamdır, siz bilməz hangisidir. Pəs əgər tozih lazımdır, kama qoymayacaq. Əgər tozih lazımdır, kama qoyacaq biləsinə. İndi my brother who lives in Denmark is a doctor. Kama qoymamışam. Pəs mənim qədəşim neçə dana vardı? O ki Danmarkdadır, 4-dür. Məli desən my brother who lives in Denmark is a doctor. Yəni mənim bir dənə qədəşim vardı. O da Danmarkda yaşayır. Manfiqsiz ya yox. I have 2 brothers. My brother who lives in Tehran is a doctor. And my brother who lives with us is still unemployed. Pəs məcburam kama qoymayam biləsinə ki, müşəxəs edəyəm hangisini deyir. Xoş, alan bu 2 daha cümlə ba ham müqayisə edeyim, mənə təfavütüm deyin. The students who were absent yesterday missed a very important session. The students who were absent yesterday missed a very important session. Buna bərəs edeyim, mənə deyin ki, nə mənə fərqlər ola bilər.
Üstəki yəni ki, o şahidlərin hamısı, məsələn, məxsus üncəydir, yəni qayıb olub. Aşağıdakında yəni məxsus bir şəxsdir ki, onlar ki, müşəxəs şeydilər və qayıb olublar. Əsas bir yapışır.
Dəqiqən. Pes burada yani o danışanları ki qaybidirlər, tozih vermişəm bir tedadı. Hani burada vəqt deyirəm, mən həsf eləsəm bu cümləni, bunlar the students missed a very important session. Yəni hamısı. Niyə? Dəlil vermişəm, they were absent yesterday. Bu tozih izafədir və hamısı göstərir ki, all of them imtahandan cələsə rədd edib. Hala Yaşar can, görürsünüz the students-a bir dənə who were absent yesterday vermişəm, bu buna embedded-dir. İndi əgər mənim burada bir də ayrı ismim olsa, yəni bu ismi yenə də tavsif eləyəm. Bu cümlənin içində bir daha ism ola, the session, session'ın özün bir şeydə tavsif eləyəm. Pəs əgər mən edə biləm, adjektivdə qalib adjektiv clause-lar. Students-ı tavsif eləmişəm. Məsələn, session'ı tavsif vermişəm. Və bir dənə cümlənin içində ayrı cümlələrdə embed eləmişəm. Bu embedded də bu cümlənin içində də. The students missed a very important session. Bu embedded də bunun içində. Əgər eləyə biləm, bu işi görəm, o olacaq cümlələri embedim ki, 3 dənə, 4 dənə, 5 dənə cümlə eləyə bilərəm, gətirəm hamısını da qalıbı bunlar embed eləyəm. Xoş, bir də fəqət reduction of the adjective clause-da öyrəşən. Biz 3 dənə halətdə elə bilər adjective clause-larımızı xülasə edirik. Biri budur ki, the man who is living next door is a policeman. Xoş, zaman hal istimrardır, who-la is gedir, ular the man living next door is a policeman. Zaman hal sadədə who gedər, məcburan feilimi ing-dər eləyəm. Ular the man living in that restaurant is a spy. Bir də passive halətindədir. The letters which were sent, which-lə were. Pəs WH-lə to be, WH-lə to be, burada fəqət WH feil ing-dər. The letters sent yesterday, lazım deyək which were sent yesterday, did not have a signature. 3 dənə halətdə reduce. İndi siz edə bilərsiniz, bu embedded-larınızda əgər bunlardan var, əgər bunlar, indi məsələn, who were absent. The students, bu ikisini silah, burada feili yazaq being absent yesterday. Elə bilərsiniz embedded-larınızda bir də reduction verərsə, sizin nömrəz şərt bağlayıram, ziri şiş verməz də biləcək. 2 də bu saatlar işlədim, görünəcək nömrə alasınız. Hadi xop, yazarsınız ki, o yazdığınızın üstündə biz bərrəsi edək, görək ki, necə yazsınız. Xop, mən bunu da failin yollayayım biləcəm. Acaba bir şey yazmış, o save elədən. Bu idi, classes. Xop, Yaşarcan, bağladım bugün dərs əbirləri. Yəni, writing-lərimizi qutardıq. Qrameri embedded-də dedik, biləcə. Əgər xassi bir sualınız vardı, sonra mən tədrisim tamamdır. Yəni, biş az hədd tədrisi idi bir günlərim. Nəzəriyyə kreşeni kullan apardıq ziri suala.
Denə şey var, mən kanunumun kitabında oxudum. After all, no one can prove that they didn't, 3 dənə nöqtə qoyubdur. Bu hangi qramer? Bu mən cümləni elə alanmadım, bax sözü. After all, no one can prove that they didn't, 3 dənə nöqtə. Cümlənin axırını qutulubdur o düzlüğünü.
Xop, baxın. Biz əgər bir dənə x-i ola cümləmizdə x, hər nə mənə. Məsələn, deyirsə, for example, after all in all, to conclude. Bu gəlibdir, bizim cümləyi əslimizə yapışıbdır. Bizim cümləyi əslimiz mütəşəkkil az noun-udur, verb-udur və noun-udur. Biz əgər cümləmiz bu cür olmasa, yəni qələt yazmışıq. Bir daha bir istilahi cəhətmişik, izafələşmişik, yəni comma qoyuq. Onlar after all, they can prove, bəqi cümlədə hər nə mən olur olsun. Ya
No one prove that. Bu cür ustad yazıb. No one can prove that they didn't.
No one
can prove.
Görmüş. Baxın. Yazım. Bu yazıram no.
Usta səsi bir şey tənzim edir, nə bilim orada.
Səsi bir şey də tənzim edir. Saç. Bundan çox tənzimatım yox. İndi eşidirsiniz də, Novan mənim həman esmi əvvəlimdir ki, nəqşi faili var. Can proof feilimdir. İndi burada bu esmin yenə siz hər nəməni yaza bilərsiniz. Bir dənə kələmə yaza bilərsiniz. Bir dənə ibarət yaza bilərsiniz. Bayaq tozih verdim orada. İlave cümlə yazarsınız. İndi sizin burada cümləz vardı da. They didn't hər nəmənə. Ha? No one can prove. Elə deyirsən I can see. Fərqi yoxdur ki, feilidir də. Fəqət mənlərdə əşli. Əli. İndi ibarət olsa Əli yəndizə, cümlə olsa hər nəmənə. Cümlə olsa hər nəmənə. İndi sizin burada cümləz vardı. Heç kəs نمیتواند ثابت کند که مثلا من دیروز به مهمانی نرفتم. Sizin cümləz o cürsüdür. Cümləz nə mənə idi?
No one, after all, comma, no one can prove that they didn't. 3 dənə nöqtə.
They didn't go to the party. Mən yazıram 3 dənə nöqtə. Go to the party. Ha? Mühümdür ki, hər nə mənə. Pəs sizin bu məf'ulu cümləmizdir, məf'uldur. Necə fail edə bilər? Kələmə. Bir dənə cümlə. Da edə bilər həmanlar olsunlar. Bizim müşkülümüz yoxdur. Heç kəs نمیتواند ثابت کنه که اونها به مهمونی نرفتن. اسم کلمه است علی بی کلمه elə bəxti است.
Səs getmiş. Səs getdi usta. İçinə səs müşkül. Məndə olmuyormuş. Default.
Var səsin.
İndi var səs.
Xop, bir söz demədim. Eləyə bilər bir kələmə olsun, məndə Əli, eləyə bilər ibarət olsun, məndə Əliyən Reza. Eləyə bilər bir dənə cümlə olsun, bu sizin üçün də cümlə veribdir. Müsbət ya mənfi, mühim deyil.
Modal verblərdən sonra biz adjektiv gəlir də, düzdür, yox şey gəlir. Onu da bir dəqiqə gətirdim o içində. Modallardan
sonra. I can go.
Burada bir tanımayacağım. Can be'den sonra o be çoğal gəlir, verb olur, ondan sonra adjektiv gəlir. Mesela that can be.
Ya esmicələr, ya pipicələr. Sifət gəlmir. Sifət də gələ bilər. Sifət də gələ bilər. Fərqi yoxdur, gələ bilirsiniz I am. I am nə mənə? A teacher. I am happy. Bəli, xop, bu gələnməz indi. I am vaxtı deyirsiniz, I am a teacher. İndi deyə bilərsiniz ki, he can be a teacher.
I am done. As of deyil, I am done.
Pipi adjektivdir da.
I am done. Adjektiv olur.
Tamam şöyle, arada. I am over. Xop, indi vaxtı deyirsiniz ki, I am happy deyə bilərsiniz, he can be happy. He can be sad. Hər nə mənə. اسم he can be a teacher. I am a teacher. burada اسمdir. I am a teacher. He can be a teacher. میتونه این معلم باشه. I am happy. He can be. Amma biz bir tebdil yapmışıq. Çünki can gəlibdir da. Məstər gələkəndən sonra. He can be happy. Vəli vaxtı PP gəlibdir. Bu saatları məchuldur. Məchuldur burada. Məsələn deyəm ki, my car can be washed. Can be məchul. O məmuliyə Məsəlcə, kəndən sonra esm gələ, ya sifət gələ, bu məlumdur saatları. Eləcə, kəndən sonra PP gəlsə, bu saatları məchula təbdil olar.
tapdım bax. Elə bir ki, burada mən yazmışam ki, yazıb our forecast of demand for next year can only be mən bunu ustad speculative olar, speculative can only be speculative.
Bəli. Tamam budur.
Adjective olub ağzından can only be
Sadece do
səs gəlmir Açın.
خب عرض می‌کنم که فرقی yoxdur ki, burada sən deyəsən happy, sən deyəsən speculated, nə fərqi vardı? Sıfat.
Speculation yazmışdım de, speculation yazasan.
Speculation Həttəməncə sıfat yazası budur.
Mənası nə qədər nədir o fərq edir? Onda niyə adjective olur? Ben başqa falan mənası.
Mənası yoxdur speculation'ın. معنیش میتونه هیجان انگیز باشه، جالب باشه. اسپکیولیشن جالب معنیسinde در چند صفت در.
İstəmirəm, usta o bizcə bunu biraz kamil başa tapamamışam. Usta o bizcə səsən bütün vaxt keçib istəmirəm əziyyət.
Mən də huzurudur ki, lazımca çıxam evdən bu ərzimə.
O bizcə həttəmən bunu istəyirəm bir dənə tozihim olsun, yəni bu kamil.
Mən ayrı misalların qalibində tozih verim, bunu kamil mütəccür yadıma salın. Bu kəmbi tozihdadır. Mən gəncəsə fəqət çək eləyəcəm. Ümidvaram ki, bədəniz şəraiti normalda olsun. Ki, eləyə bilərsiniz təminləzi yazası. Gördünüz, ehyanən dəyər, mənə biraz tez deyin ki, cədəsənizə həsb edəyək da.
Yaşasın usta, məmnun, təşəkkür.